That doesn't work for me, brother.
And we welcome you to a brand new edition of This Is Wrestling. It is Lee Versage alongside Zach McGibbon. Zach, how do I sound in my new studio?
Sounding good, Mr. Versage. I'm liking it. We finally got the new studio set up. You got the microphone going as well. You are set to go.
All I need is somebody else on the show to push me to the new, bigger, higher level, Zach. That's all I need. But how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Oh, wait
Sorry,
a minute.
I just used the censor button. I just found the censor button on my new board, Zach.
Yes. Yeah, that's one of the new things about his equipment is now he's got a soundboard. We may have given him too much power in terms of this new equipment that Lee Versage has.
So what people don't know or probably don't remember is that getting into the business in the first 5 years, I was a producer. I had a board that probably had 30 channels on it. And I knew what every single button did on that board, Zach. For 5 years, produced shows like Duke and the Dandy Man, The Afternoon Drive with Buzz and the Dandy Man, all kinds of different things on the board. And now I have a board that has 6 channels and a couple of preset buttons, and I hardly know how to work it. But I know how to work this one, Zach.
I pressed the wrong button. I'm so sorry! Bitch.
I can't believe Okada has made it onto the show. But one of my new favorites on Collision last week, there was an interview with Kyle Fletcher, and Okada came in, and he kind of was talking about that, Kesh is never here. You and I, we're the head of the Don Callis family. We're the leaders. Front Okada. And I'm like, yes, Zach. Yes.
You're in.
Front Okada.
Yes.
Yes, I'm in.
I love it.
So I got a whole bunch of new machinery to learn. And when something goes awry, don't think that it actually went wrong. Just know that I pressed the wrong button. And Okada and I are sitting here together trying to figure this out.
That's right.
But we got a lot to talk about on the show, a ton to talk about actually, with John Cena, the tournament coming up, and some of the names that are going to be wrestling each other. We don't know all of the names, but we know some, more than half of the names. We've seen some tournament matches already. We saw John Cena win the Intercontinental title last night from our man Dom Dom. Our man.
Our
Dom
man?
Dom.
I don't know about R in this instance.
Yeah, our, Zach.
Our.
So yeah, I know, because John Cena is your guy. I understand. But Dom Dom's my guy, Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a shame. We also saw Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss lose the women's tag titles to the Kabuki Warriors last night. And we have War Games coming up. We have the John Cena tournament. We are on the eve of Blood and Guts with AEW. We had a walkout in AEW, and we have a very, very bitter person that was let go by the WWE. So all of this to be able to pack into a new edition of This Is Wrestling. Let's start with John Cena winning the Intercontinental title. Does this mean anything to you now, as we are getting very close, just over a month away from his final match in Washington in the middle of December?
I don't know if it really means anything to me. It goes back to I was never really the biggest John Cena guy coming in. Like, my guy was CM Punk, and CM Punk was going against John Cena. John Cena represented the corporate side of WWE, so I didn't really have the attachment there. But in terms of a moment, a spectacle, if you what have you, but I think it was an interesting move. There was some thoughts and reports of potentially that this match between John Cena and Dominic Mysterio was going to take place at Survivor Series, but I think they saw what was where this Raw was taking place in Boston, Massachusetts, the last edition of Raw in Boston, and or last edition of John Cena on Raw in Boston, and decided let's make a moment here on TV and try and get people interested. And plus, you add in the factor that Cena is now a Grand Slam champion in WWE. That long elusive Intercontinental belt is finally his. So you kind of add all that together, and I think they looked at everything and said, you know what, let's make a moment here in Boston and try and get something that people will remember coming out of this show. Yeah. So that's how I kind of look at it.
Yeah, same here. It's a moment company.
Yep.
Now, right? Like it's a company based on just moments that are happening. And I think when you can create a moment and you can kind of give John Cena the full circle of titles, the Grand Slam champion, one eluded him, a chance to give it to him just a month before. I think it's the right thing to do. But I'll ask you a couple things. The viewership is going down and down and down. In fact, SmackDown had an absolutely horrific Friday night last Friday. So did they do this in response to that? And how much do you think that this changes? Or in your opinion, how does it change the John Cena tournament because we don't know whether he'll hold that Intercontinental title until December 13th. But if he does, this more or less is an Intercontinental title tournament with the winner getting a shot at that title Saturday night's main event. Does it change the tournament for you the way that we all should look at this tournament because the Intercontinental title is on the line?
It does for me. I kind of like this idea. Now, this is all based on me assuming that at the end of it all, the Intercontinental title will be on the line at that Saturday night's main event show, because I think it should be. So I'm basing it off that. But yeah, I think it changes things a little bit. It adds a little bit more stakes because, you know, I didn't mind the tournament idea in terms of having John Cena's final opponent be determined through a tournament. I understand why people weren't as happy about it when you look at the way that his retirement has been booked over the last year now. And for a lot of people, they could see that and look at it as lazy a little bit. But I think this does add a new dynamic to the tournament that now whoever is facing off against John Cena also will have the Intercontinental Championship belt. So that when Cena retires and presumably loses, because that's where I'm thinking this is leading to, you have the rub of the person not only beating John Cena, but they're holding a title from that. And you could try and do some new directions with the Intercontinental Championship if need be. So that's how I'm kind of looking at it all. I do like that sort of wrinkle that's added in. And again, I'm basing all this assuming that we're going to have the Intercontinental belt on the line at the end of this all.
Yeah, like it changes for me a lot, to be honest. Where I kind of like you, because I was the first one to ever say Gunther, even though I heard it out of your mouth. I was the first one to ever say that.
No,
so,
I don't recall that in our recordings. I think I was the one that brought up Gunther.
That, but
yeah,
yes, you were the one that stayed with Gunther.
Yeah.
But are you still staying with Gunther? Do you really believe that Gunther is going to go through this tournament to beat John Cena and win the Intercontinental title? I don't know about that. So to me, it changes kind of the look and the way that this tournament is going to go down. Now, I do have a problem with the tournament in this sense, and I don't understand it. Haven't heard anybody talk about it, but I'm sure they probably have, because there's no way that people don't feel the same as me because I'm just so smart. I don't understand the part of the tournament where like names are in the tumbler like it's some random draw. Like, well, we got names and Nick Aldis isn't going to tell us the name from Friday. So we got to hold off until this Friday. And now there's a new, mystery person coming in. Like, I don't mind the tournament idea, but why wouldn't you have a tournament with like 16 people that John Cena picks?
Yeah.
And I don't have to watch Nick Aldis get names out of a tumbler and then not tell us who it is. Like I think that part of it doesn't jive with me from like where John Cena is, and if you're gonna have a tournament to decide who's gonna face him in the final match, just make it a big deal. Like make it so that John Cena's picking the 16 people. I just don't understand the logic of watching Nick Aldis rattle around a tumbler like it could be anybody. It's like, well, no. Like if it's a big deal, why isn't John Cena picking it? So that's my issue with. I don't mind that there's a tournament to see, but I do have an issue with the randomness of it. It feels very like who got number 1 in the Royal Rumble ish. Like
Yeah.
Come on, it's John Cena's retirement. Like
You
so I
don't want to do a
understand-
Battle Bowl concept for John Cena's retirement?
Oh, I do love Battle Bowl until I actually watched Battle Bowl.
Oh, really?
I love the concept of it until you're like, I just don't really feel a lot for this match. Oh, I don't care that those people are together.
Yeah.
Anyway, it just didn't. It
Didn't
didn't
land.
hit.
Yeah.
So we have 16 people. We don't quite know who they are. We know, we saw that, Rusev beat Damian Priest. We saw Sheamus beat Shinsuke Nakamura. We know that, LA Knight is facing this mystery opponent. Javon Evans is facing Gunther, if I'm not mistaken, in the
Yeah.
first round.
Yeah.
You got your stuff in there. That was good.
Sorry, I wasn't even trying at that time. I was saving getting my stuff in for something else related to the John Cena announcement on Raw.
Right. So the Miz is taking on Jey Uso.
Oh, that's a
and-
barn burner. Get fired up for that match, Lee
and
Versage.
Solo Sikoa is taking on a surprise opponent.
A lot of surprises.
And there's 4 names that have not been announced yet.
Yeah.
So that's 12 of the 16. But in there that's 10 of the 16. There's a TBD, there's a surprise opponent, and then there's 2 other matches where we don't know anything about them. That's a lot to take in, I know. So with the Intercontinental title on the line, I have a theory, but I want to hear from you first on what you think will happen and what should happen.
I thought you were setting up for an Austin Theory joke there. It's like, you have a theory, and it's Austin Theory, and he's going to get his revenge against John Cena.
No, he's not.
No?
And by the way, I love when I hear other interviews that I think are really good. I don't know if you've had the chance. Probably my favorite interview in a number of years that I listened to not long ago.
Okay.
It was a guest of Chris Van Vliet. And to me, if you didn't know anything about wrestling, you would listen to this interview and this person would become one of your favorite wrestlers if you didn't watch, just from how they conducted themselves. I thought it was probably the best example of being yourself mixed in with a little bit of gimmick, but the right type of gimmick.
Yep.
And then letting yourself, like, everybody see exactly who you are. I just don't know if I have listened to an interview that has kind of as well rounded as they hit all of the marks to, like, be funny, be entertaining, get some information, be inward, be a little bit um like I don't mean soft as in I just mean letting people in to see
Open.
like
Like
who
they're
they
open.
were. They're open.
Yeah.
So that individual that I'm talking about is Grayson Waller.
Oh, really? Okay.
It was absolutely incredible. Like I would tell anybody to go listen to this interview, and I don't care if you're a wrestling fan. So please give it a listen. Don't often plug other people's interviews like that, but this was just outstanding. And Grayson Waller has leapt to like the very top of somebody that I want to see coming up in the next year get a real opportunity. So that's how good it was. I digress. What you think is going to happen and what you think should happen if, and we will go on the premise that the Intercontinental title is on the line. I want to hear both of those answers.
Boy. So here's what I think is going to happen. The more we saw there with Dominic Mysterio being involved with Cena, and we see Ray is back as well. He's back in the fold. When I saw Ray back in the fold, and I kind of brought his name up last show, asking, is he injured? Like, is he somebody?
He appeared right away.
Yeah.
As soon as he was literally the Joe Hendry of the show.
Yes. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Rey Mysterio. I believe that's how that song goes. Yeah, I'm going to say I think they're going to go with a Rey Mysterio John Cena final match. I think that's kind of a rivalry for a lot of like fans of that age that you kind of associate with that era for them, like the late 2000s, early 2010s era with Rey Mysterio, John Cena, Randy Orton would be in there for folks, Edge would be in there for folks. And so I think it would be a John Cena Rey Mysterio match. I think that's where they're leading to based on what we saw with Dom and their previous connection there. So that's what I think is going to happen. It's not necessarily what I want. If you were to ask me what I want to see happen, I would love to see Braun Breaker be in this tournament and find a way to just like wreak havoc, wreck house, and just beat everybody up, and then eventually get to the John Cena match. And I know he's already held the Intercontinental Championship, but you want to talk about making a statement and having an impact win and putting somebody over, because that was one of the things that Cena was talking about too, that he was looking for Saturday night's main event, is that he wanted talent from NXT being put over. Now, I know Braun Breaker's not an NXT talent, but in terms of that idea of getting the younger guys over so that when he's gone, that next generation could carry the ball and run with it. So if I was booking it, I would be having Braun Breaker find a way through this tournament and setting him up as this wrecking ball freak sort of athlete to get that Intercontinental Championship back, and people going, whoa, who is this guy that's gone in there and just beat up John Cena and won the belt. So I think they're going to go a Rey Mysterio John Cena match. What I want to see is Braun Breaker just wreck house and be able to beat up Cena.
So I'm going to concur with you in one regard. I think having Braun Breaker in this tournament, having him wreak havoc, having him beat John Cena at the end, and building Braun Breaker as the next Brock Lesnar to probably fight Brock Lesnar at some point. Because I was listening to Busted Open a while ago, and I remember Bully Ray saying that just remember that nothing is ever done by accident. Whether you like it or not, it's never done by accident. And what he was talking about was the squash of Brock Lesnar on John Cena. Like, why did that happen? Do we think that that's just not going to play any effect now until the end? He didn't think so, and I would agree. So that fits into your theory a little bit, where hey, John Cena got wrecked by Brock Lesnar. And then if Braun Breaker's in this tournament, that Braun Breaker ends up in the finals, destroying people, and then wrecking John Cena in the final and winning the Intercontinental title, it kind of sets up Braun Breaker and Brock Lesnar down the line. And that's a match that if they're smart and they book properly, which I don't have a lot of faith that they are, but that match, even if you're not a WWE fan, but you're a wrestling fan, you're probably still interested if they build Braun Breaker properly and Brock Lesnar. I'm interested.
Yep.
I would love to see it. So I am going to concur with you in that regard of what they should do. I would love to see that. Because if he went on to say, like, let's say he had to face Gunther in the final and then he beat Gunther. And then you're like, oh my God, he beat Gunther. And then he goes on to beat John Cena as well. Man, like that's a pretty good start to your career.
Yep.
Where, you beat, because Gunther really doesn't have a lot else to prove. I don't think he needs the Intercontinental title again. So when that title was suddenly on the line, my thoughts about Gunther winning this tournament went way down.
Me too.
The name that and you're not going to like this.
Oh boy.
Yeah. What I would like to see, which won't happen, but I would love for The Miz.
Really?
I forward you a video.
Come on,
Really?
Lee. No.
I forwarded you a video.
Yeah, I saw the video. I
know, and you responded. That was really good 8 years ago or whatever you said.
Yeah, it was a great promo
And
8 years ago.
yes, it was him in the ring with the Intercontinental title talking to John Cena and Roman Reigns
Yeah.
about how he was the guy. I would love a final run for The Miz.
Oh,
But
no.
it's not going to happen.
No,
and
I just no. I can't allow that to happen.
You know who I think has a decent shot at facing John Cena and winning the Intercontinental title?
Who?
It's Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, getting it back?
Yes.
Okay.
And being in this feud, it's kind of like he's in one right now. His family's left him. He didn't know where his family was after he lost the title. Ray is back. Ray's laughing at him. Like literally tweeting LOL after he lost. They're involving, like, Ray saying, like, he needed, like, what did Ray say? He needed an ass whooping.
Yep.
To John Cena. And John's like, nah, he's a good kid. Like, they are talking a lot about Dominic Mysterio here. And if Dominic loses the title but goes through the tournament and then beats John Cena, retires him to get the Intercontinental title back, you are elevating still a young star, because this is where I think it gets really interesting, this discussion. You brought up Austin Theory's name.
Yes.
Austin Theory pinned John Cena at WrestleMania. What did that do for Austin Theory?
Not much, if any.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Now, probably on the WWE and not Austin Theory, but still, when you do it to somebody that you're not quite sure of, there's inherent risk. Like, great that Javon Evans is in this tournament. I mean, if he goes on to face John Cena and beat John Cena at Saturday night's main event and then does nothing, you've just wasted this entire thing. So when people talk about, oh, you need to elevate new stars, well, they tried to elevate Austin Theory and it didn't go anywhere with John Cena specifically. And there's been other times where other people have put people over and it's gone nowhere. And then there's, to me, the opposite end of the spectrum where, like, Brock Lesnar didn't need to beat The Undertaker. He was already made.
Right.
Now, you could argue it helped him, and then he went on and was even more made and a bigger star after, but he probably didn't need that more than somebody else needed that. I feel like Dominic Mysterio is like the perfect tweener. Like, he's built a little bit, he's got a reputation. I think they have a lot of confidence in him, but he's still young and he's still learning. And beating and retiring John Cena and winning back his title, to me, could do a lot for a young star to get him to the next level. Dominic Mysterio's ahead of a Javon Evans. You look at, to me, you look down the lineup, and I mean, Rusev and Damian Priest and Shinsuke, and great, they're all in it, but Dominic Mysterio's ahead of those guys. But he's still not at that next level. But I do feel it's a guy that they could trust. He's not going anywhere. Great relationship. Still have the story with his father. What if he wins that match, thinks he's on top of the world after retiring John Cena, and John Cena's really, really good friend Ray comes back and says, well, I'm going to take that title back, and now you have Ray versus Dom for the Intercontinental title. Tell me that you wouldn't watch.
So that's an interesting proposition there, Lee, because I think we're both kind of leaning to an end path here. We're both talking about the Mysterios, and we both think that there is some sort of connectiveness that's going on here with the Mysterios, with Dom and Ray. I think we just have different opponents in mind, because I'm looking at it from the what's going to be the maximum nostalgia bait deal when it comes to John Cena's final match. And in my mind, that would be a John Cena Rey Mysterio match. But you're looking at it from let's establish Dom here a little bit and take him to that next level and have him beat John Cena, go through the tournament, find the different crafty ways to win, like your classic heel ways to win. That will eventually lead to Dom Mysterio facing off against John Cena in a final match, get the Intercontinental title back, and then you rekindle that feud between Dom and Ray.
And then Dom would go over with that too.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, Dom is made.
Yep. It would certainly be a big win for him. I'm trying to put my personal feelings about Dom Mysterio aside in my analysis of this. Well,
let me just go over the names here again that we know so far as we sit here right now.
Yep.
Rusev has already defeated Damian Priest. Sheamus has already defeated Shinsuke Nakamura. We can both agree that Rusev and Sheamus are not winning.
I agree.
So there's 4 of the 16 that aren't winning. The Miz and Jey Uso, none of those 2 are not winning. LA Knight, Javon Evans are not winning. Solo Sikoa is not winning. We don't know anybody else in the tournament other than Gunther. He's the one guy you're like, okay, I could see Gunther winning, but now if the Intercontinental title's on the line, I don't see it. But he's the one guy that we know of that's in this tournament right now that at least has a possibility. The others have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Sam Mitchell chance.
That's going to be added to your soundboard pretty soon, the Sam Mitchell clip.
You know what? That is one of my favorite clips of all time. Because it's not only the coach after the game. We got guys that had a stat line 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. I mean, and the I mean at the end is incredible.
Yes.
But even before that, he talks about, I told them they should quit. I told them.
Do us a favor. Quit.
Quit. Incredible.
Oh, just such a good clip.
Incredible stuff from Sam. So yes, you're right. That is one that absolutely has to be added to the board. I'm gonna have the board. We're gonna be all sound effects.
Yeah.
One time.
I'm gonna be trying to articulate a point, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna get the Sam Mitchell, sound effect, and gonna turn into a wacky afternoon drive show as you're driving in from work. Just have all these
Pretty
sound
much.
effects.
Yeah. And pretty much what every morning radio person does anyway.
Yeah.
They don't talk themselves. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is that while we don't know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the people, we know Gunther, that's 7, and we've just ruled out like every other person.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, who's the surprise name? People talking about Joe Hendry. People are talking about, like, to me, the possibility of Nick Aldis being in there. I don't know, but I feel like that person's not winning.
Yeah.
So is Braun Breaker going to be in? Is Brock Lesnar going to be in? Like, who else is going to be the TBDs? Because that's where the winner's coming from for me. And I think Dom's not in it yet because he just lost last night.
Right.
And he's going to find a way to, like, I want my title back. I deserve into this tournament. And they're going to say, well, you don't get a rematch. And he's going to find his rematch. And to your point, I think they'll involve Ray the entire way to keep the name around too. It won't just be Dom. It'll be some storyline with Ray involved. And like at some point not being that upset that his son is advancing to face John Cena. But I just think they did too much after the fact of Cena beating Dom for the Intercontinental title with Ray, the acknowledgement backstage. He needed an ass whipping, and John said, no, he's a good kid. Just need to be taught a lesson.
Yeah.
Again, those things don't happen by accident. Ray's going on social media. Like I see it. That's all.
Yeah. What does need to be mentioned though, when it comes to the John Cena retirement tour and making the big stop in Boston, and he's kicking off the show, Lee. Yep. He's gonna be the first thing you see when the show starts on Monday Night Raw, and John Cena's come out there, and
feels like I know where you're going, but
it's gonna come out there and do the whole. He's got the towel. He looked the cameraman. It's like time to go to work, and he'll run into the ring and blah blah blah. That's gonna be the first thing we see on Monday Night Raw, right? Right?
Should have been.
What do you mean should have been? What do you mean should have been?
No.
There's somebody else on the programming? Like who else? Who could have possibly been the guy in WWE that would kick off the show and try and, get the opening pop from the show and really put themselves out there and be at the center of the ring and make themselves really the face of the company? Who could possibly be that person there, Lee?
Triple L.
Triple L himself. Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Paul Levesque, showing up first thing. It's so shameless at this point. Like it's hilarious. Like he just keeps on popping up.
I don't have as big of a problem in previous times that you have. It's like kicking off WrestleMania. All right, like he is the head of the company. Last night. No, Zach, I have no argument against you. Like nothing. What they should have done is just what they've done for other big times is, how they sometimes let it breathe and it gets to that like awkward kind of silence for a second. You're like, all right, the crowd's kind of cheering, but what's happening here? And then finally, like Cena's music should hit.
Right.
That's all that should happen.
Yep. But no, Lee, it's time to play the game. Guitar riff and have him go out there. And
last night was not the time to play the game.
Oh.
So I have no argument against. Like last night was shameless.
It was so shameless.
Yep.
I will also address this too, Mr. Versage.
It was.
There was the sign that was behind a Triple H during his promo that said Triple H sucks. I just want to go on the record, say that was not me with that sign up there. I know I had some people reach out, said, hey, Zach, did you travel to Boston? You knew that Triple H was going to show up? Because, I mean, any sort of opportunity he gets to be in front of that camera, get the big pop at the start of a show for a monumental show, he's going to find a way to get on there because he is the face of this brand. But I'm here to tell you, it was not me with that sign that said Triple H sucks behind him. So just wanted to put that rumor to rest.
I think there's a lot of us that knew that the car that you drive couldn't have made it halfway to Boston. So
where there's a will, there's a way, Lee.
That's true. That's true. We've seen it before. Okay, lots else to discuss. Before we leave a little bit of the WWE, they do have War Games coming up. They got Regal to come in to do his little War Games. Like, that's all he said. And they brought him in for that reason.
Yep. With Punk, by the way, which was interesting. What
do you make of the, like, there's only 3 aside, and they have more like DVDs as they go into War Games in 2 weeks. Does that add some intrigue, or would you rather seen like all 5 members? This is on the men's side.
Yeah,
all 5 members announced so that we just have like a proper, or like you have 2 full weeks to build into it.
I would have liked the 5. I've got pretty low expectations on the other, 2 members that would be there for War Games. Yeah, I'm feeling low on that one. But
so just to interrupt you for a second, on the one side we have the Bronze.
Yeah.
And Logan Paul.
Yep.
Good lineup, but not like incredible.
Right.
But on the other side, we have what? Both champions.
And Jey Uso. Get fired up.
But we have CM Punk and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, and Jey Uso.
And Jey Uso.
Yeah.
I feel like the faces are a lot bigger than the heels right now. And with all due respect to the vision and where Braun Breaker might go and Bronson Reed, I love Logan Paul, but I still look at that team and go, that's kind of some B talent right now.
Yeah.
So when you say you have low expectations, I absolutely think that Brock Lesnar is going to be a part of that team. Like, I just don't see, like, for me, that's the perfect way of him coming in, being a part of that group. People can still speculate, is he part of the vision? Is he the actual leader that Heyman's there for?
Right.
Like, what's his role? So, while on the faces side, I don't have high expectations. After you have both champions, I don't know where you go from that. I would expect Brock Lesnar to be a part of that team, which gives me a lot of intrigue.
Yep. Brock Lesnar in War Games would be interesting.
If they don't do that, they're really stupid to me.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you too. Look, we'll go to the Ridge Holland stuff first because that's right in the WWE. And then I do have kind of a crossover question between WWE and AEW. Oh, Ridge Holland. So Ridge Holland gets let go. You tell the story.
Okay. Yes. So to give a little bit of background, he, got let go. He was part of the round of cuts. And what was interesting about him, for lack of a better term, about his cut was that he had wrestled for TNA and he got injured at a TNA show and he was out recovering from that. Then he finds out that he's part of a round of cuts. And so he's got the non-compete rights. And so there's that element. And then he mentions he had the initial post how it kind of sucked that he got cut while he's, injured and he wrestled for another company. And while, yes, he's getting this rehabilitation costs covered and getting this covered, he's still getting paid. It still kind of sucks that this is how he's finding out while he's injured. And then it leads to, there was this tweet that came out. He mentioned again that, things have been ramping up financially for him. And he's essentially saying it's just WWE's still doing certain elements, but he's kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudging very, I wouldn't even say subtly, like pretty hard that, yeah, this sucks and they could do more than this. And that leads to WWE cutting him straight up. So he has that period in between his contract where he would get paid, but they release him a week before the layoff or whatever, that non-compete was going to expire, where he would get paid. And so that cuts off a week of payment for him. And there's this GoFundMe that's set up, and then it turns out that he doesn't want the GoFundMe set up. It was a family member that had gone out and set up for him, and they take it down. They say that they'll donate the funds that were donated there to charity, and he goes on a bunch of different podcasts and says that the reason why he tweeted out his frustrations there was because he got a foreclosure notice on his home, and he needed a place to vent, and he didn't want to vent to his wife. So there's a lot that kind of happened with Ridge Holland over the last couple of weeks, in terms of his status with the company and him being let go and how he felt he was kind of being treated while he's got this, major surgery that's coming up. So that's kind of the most basic rundown I could give of it, because there's like tweets and him going on multiple podcasts about it. It seems like there is some sort of resolution for it. Now he seems to kind of be backing off from it, and he and WWE have negotiated stuff to kind of settle things. So but it just kind of goes back to there was the big uproar, right, when it was found out that he had got let go from his contract early instead and would not get that 1 week payment. And when he's talking about the financial stress that he's under, it's a story that, like, it doesn't make TKO look good at all. And over the last little bit, you can associate the timing of it as well, because they released their third quarter earnings, and they made a lot of money, as you would imagine, at TKO. I mean, with all the ads that we see on the TV and the programming in WWE, I would imagine they're making a lot of money. And you have that element, and why are they being this petty for a guy when he's looking for funds to kind of help with his surgery? So yeah, it's a lot that's kind of happening in that story. It seems to be kind of resolved now, but I think it's stuff like this that's going to continue to get some more into that armor of TKO, putting more chinks in the armor and trying to find a way to break through and realize, maybe TKO is not this great company the way that it's being portrayed right now.
Right. Yeah. Is it being portrayed well right now?
I would say
investors maybe.
I mean, if you're a shareholder, like, you're loving everything that's coming out with TKO right now. But if you're like a fan and you're seeing everything from the ticket prices to the treatment of talent to everything that's kind of come out since then, like, however you feel about the Andrade stuff, there are certainly a section of the fan base that also feels like TKO is kind of, getting in there and screwing over another talent in that as well. So it all kind of goes back to the reputation of TKO and how it's kind of being addressed here with this Ridge Holland stuff.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when you go to social media to complain and you do it more than once, you don't come across well, even if all of the things are true. I don't think Ridge Holland looks good here. And some of the things might absolutely be true, but I don't know. I don't think he looks good. And all of a sudden he's taking it back and taking the GoFundMe down, and like there's just a lot there going on that doesn't need to be. So
I understand his frustrations, like, in terms of you go and you work for another company, you get injured, and then they cut you.
Is it another company, or is it just part of your job?
Well, there is the partnership element to it for sure.
So Zach, if you work for the radio station and the radio station tells you to go and do something else for another radio station, and somehow something goes wrong, you're still working for your rate. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't like. I'm watching TNA and NXT stars join up and do things all the time. So if any of them had got hurt at all, they're like, well, I'm working for another company. I don't know. You're still getting paid by WWE to go to be told where to go and who to wrestle. And if they have an agreement with another company, then it's part of your company. I don't understand I was working for another company stuff.
Mhm.
Like, you are working for the WWE who told you to go wrestle somewhere. You are under contract to do that.
I think it's
I
the
don't know.
I think it's the payment, like in terms of him getting injured and how WWE handled the costs of it is where the frustration
Yeah,
lies.
which is totally fine. Like, that's a different argument than I got hurt wrestling in a different company. Not really. Like, they have an agreement.
Yeah.
So if they didn't treat you right when you got injured, fine, but don't put it on you were wrestling for a different company. Put it on they're not treating you right when you got injured. There's the story to me.
Yeah. And then there's also the element of what he said about taking a pay cut and whatnot, and I think he mentioned it was like a 58% pay cut or something like that, so that he could work in NXT. It goes back to the financials of it all, and is it a good look for TKO that a wrestler is going out there saying I can't pay my bills because I'm not being paid enough by the company? However you feel about it, whether it be you're against TKO or you're for TKO or you're against Ridge Holland or whatever, is it a good thing for TKO to have out there that this wrestler's coming out there and saying, I having a tough time paying the bills, in this case the house or whatever, because I'm not getting paid enough. I took this pay cut, but I'm not getting paid enough to, continue with this standard of living.
Is it a good look? No, but I don't think they care.
Well, that's also for certain.
Um, but I'm not sure they should. Like, look, this is a tough one, but I am looking at the other side of it going, there's a lot of people in the world that think they're underpaid.
Mhm.
And nobody, like, if you took a pay cut and you signed the deal, nobody forced you to sign the deal.
Mhm.
So you signed whatever contract that you signed, you are responsible for that. And whether you don't like it or not, then I don't know. I think the answer to me is it's not like they would have signed Ridge Holland to a 10-year deal.
No.
So play out the end of your contract, get better, and go do something with it. Like, I just don't. It's not like Ridge Holland was like, if this happened to Dominic Mysterio, it is a completely different entity than it is Ridge Holland.
Yeah.
So it's not a great look for TKO, but I don't think it's a great look for Ridge Holland either. I'm sorry he got hurt.
Yeah.
I think that sucks. I hope they are going to take care of him as far as that's concerned, but I don't know that. I think he just had a whole bunch of life stuff happen to him.
Yeah.
That was outside the control. So
Yeah. I think
so
it seems like he needed a place to vent, and he decided to post it to social media, which is never a great idea.
No,
To be
don't
emotionally
do it.
charged and post it to social media. I
Don't
will say
do it.
in the case of Ridge Holland, like, I think he's recognizing that, and that's why you're seeing him, like, pulling back on stuff and kind of realizing the error of his ways. So it's kind of one of those deals with him, and I highly doubt we're ever going to see Ridge Holland in a pro wrestling period after this. Like, if he's got neck fusion surgery, like he's mentioning, he's 37. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's done in wrestling. So, again, it's unfortunate, like you said. I do think there are some elements in terms of the pay and whatnot, and and then it would just go back into the whole independent contractor thing, which again could be its own entire episode in terms of the independent contractor status compared to an employee status in professional wrestling and all that. So, but that's like a totally different conversation for another day. But yeah, it was something that it was just interesting how it continued to play out. And I thought, I did think it was petty from TKO to cut him early from the deal. I know they're within their right to do that. I know it's in their contract to do that, but I still felt it was petty to do that and just go in there and cut the guy, especially a week out. It's just like pay off the guy and then like, you know, wipe your hands off if you're the company and just move on in my mind. Because then you're just creating a bigger story that you don't really need.
I did want to throw another name because I forgot. You distracted me enough.
Oh.
There is another name that in the tournament that I think could get up there and win it, and I want to make sure that I say it now so that we've talked about him before, but I just wanted to
on the record.
Yes, and I've said it on the record before. I do think Drew McIntyre has a good shot at sort of being that guy as well. He is currently suspended, and now I read like these reports that he's out for a movie, and it's like, I don't think he's out for a movie. And now the reports are coming out that it is just storyline that he's out. Well, how many times we talked about before that how many times he's taken the L and looked bad, and that he kind of was the Rock's guy. So I do think there's a chance that Drew McIntyre is in there, and I just wanted to make sure that I got that in. I was interested in your opinion with War Games coming up. We're on the eve of Blood and Guts for AEW. They're kind of the same thing.
Pretty much.
One's a pay-per-view and one's just on Dynamite, which, how do you feel about Blood and Guts being on Dynamite?
I don't mind it as like a TV attraction. I'm kind of at the stage though where I'm worried that with the Blood and Guts concept, it's turning into, oh, it's that time of the year, we got to get our Blood and Guts match in, you know, as opposed to saving it for bigger occasions. Like, it's the same critique I would have for Hell in a Cell. Like, there was a time they would have the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. It's like, you should be saving that stipulation for like big time matches. Like, the equivalent would be in AEW with the dog collar match. You don't see it all the time, but when you do, it's for these big time feuds, and you're like, okay, we've got like, this is what we're building up for. That's what I think Blood and Guts should be, as opposed to, oh, it's, you know, it's October and we got two of these teams fighting. But it's now time for Blood and Guts. Like, let's get this done.
It actually seems too choreographed to me.
Yep.
Like,
I agree.
Oh, we got Blood and Guts coming up in 4 weeks. Let's have a whole bunch of people feud with a whole bunch of other people.
Yeah.
And we'll mix it all in, and like, I just don't understand why. I don't think the WWE runs itself that way. Why would AEW go to an event like this that's so close to the WWE's? I don't mind it on TV, but the problem is on TV, these matches are so long, they're going to go to commercial a couple times, which I think completely takes away from the blood and the guts.
Yeah.
And how much blood and how much guts are we going to see on syndicated television?
Right.
I don't know. Doesn't seem like we're going to get the fork in the John Moxley in the forehead right away.
They're going to bring the aquarium into the Blood and Guts match?
I don't think that's happening.
No?
What's like just your overall enthusiasm of Blood and Guts? Are you more interested in the women's match?
I'm not really interested in any of them, if I'm being honest. I guess there is the factor of, it's like, oh, the first ever women's Blood and Guts match. Let's see how they're able to do it. But I've not exactly been enthralled with how they've been getting these teams together and having these Blood and Guts matches organized on both sides. And I'm not even arguing against the logic of it. Like, obviously, like, I understand how they were able to put it together watching the TV, but I don't find it particularly interesting the way that they've put together these Blood and Guts matches compared to years past. Like, first couple Blood and Guts, like from I would say 2021 to 2023, it was like those were like, okay, I'm interested to see what they do with the Blood and Guts concept. But now it's, to me, it seems sort of like this is the lowest I've been interested in Blood and Guts since they brought this into the company. So
I would agree.
I'm really not feeling it. Like, I'm sure it will like be a television draw and all that, and I'm sure like you'll get your hardcore spots or whatever in certain elements of the match. And I'm not even saying that they won't like go out there and work hard or anything like that, but in terms of my interest level into Blood and Guts, like it's probably the lowest out of all the Blood and Guts they've done so far.
So with AEW, then what has you? Because I'm a little bit down on like where they've gone right now. I thought Dynamite was actually a pretty good show when I was watching it, and then I'm like, okay, but like, where is it going? Like, what's happening now? And that's kind of how I felt after. It's like, that was an okay show, but now what? Like, and that's kind of where I am. Protocol is the best thing for me that's come out of AEW this week.
Yeah, I like, again, it's weird. I don't even think the TV's bad or anything like that. It's just like not gripping me. It's not capturing me like it like the AEW shows in the past. And I think a lot of that has to do with the repetition of a lot of these matches. Like, we've seen a lot of these matches before that have been announced for the pay-per-view. It's like, oh, we're gonna do, mentioned Kyle the Protostar Fletcher there earlier. You're gonna do Kyle Fletcher versus.
No, you're not
What?
getting your stuff. I'm cutting you off every time. Don't do this, Zach.
What did I do? What did I do? I just said the guy's name. I don't know. I don't understand what the issue here is.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, there's a lot of repetition to these matches.
I do give them credit that they let the faces get the advantage, as opposed to like every other War Games match, Blood and Guts match in the history of matches where the faces never have they're going to have the advantage in this one.
Yeah.
You know what I thought was really interesting was Roderick Strong and his wife.
Yeah.
Marina Shafir, and I don't know, she spit on them. I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like they were playing it up, and it looked like there was some real heat there. It was like, okay, this is good. Husband and wife, they're acknowledging it. It looks like there's some heat there. It's like, yeah, okay, that's good. They've done that a couple of times, like with Renee, going on that kind of rant about her husband. It was not on Dynamite, but still.
Right.
So yeah, I don't mind that aspect, but like the winner of Blood and Guts, do I really care? No. And it's too close to, just like the WWE, the John Cena tournament's kind of mixing in with Survivor Series that's got like not a great build to their War Games, and it's like I'm not really interested in that more than I am the John Cena tournament leading up to his final match, which I think is overshadowing it. So it is a bit of an odd time when you got all these guys away. We always talk about it, but every time I watch Dynamite, I'm like, man, do I miss Swerve Strickland? Man, do I miss Will Ospreay? Man, do I miss like where Kenny Omega can get back to? Man, like MJF, I miss him. Like, there's so many top stars out that I miss them. What about Nixon Newell?
It's not gonna work for me, sister.
Yes, I know there were some that
Bigger
wanted
wag,
to start with that,
bigger wag.
but those two women aren't big enough for even to begin this show. But that's not going to work for me, sister.
Yeah.
I don't know what to believe. I mean, you hear things. They went on Twitch and sort of told their side of the story. And the story is, folks, is that they brought them in and they're in the tag team tournament. And then they told them they weren't on Dynamite, but they were going to be on Collision. and then their match was going to be 3 minutes and they were going to lose, and they didn't have a problem with losing, but they wanted to be 3 minutes. So I understand the frustration of being brought in, and then if they're told to go out to lose to Anna Jay and Tay Mello in 3 minutes, that's not going to make them look very good. But you also just signed to go there. Like, should you be walking out?
Yeah. Well, not even
Where's-
signed, just like called in to do an appearance. Like,
Where's the fault there then?
I read all of this is like, I find the more the story comes out, the less credible I find Nixon, Newell, and Miranda Alize, I think is her other name
Yeah.
there.
I agree.
The less credible they come across to me. And I'm somebody, just for the record, like, I was thinking Nixon Newell before she had those double knee injuries. Like, I was like, oh, this is somebody here that they could potentially try and grow and have, elevate in the women's division. And then obviously injuries just kind of derailed her career a little bit. Then she gets cut. And I was thinking, oh, maybe like you could put a flyer in and like see what you've got with Nixon Newell. Like, I was still kind of holding on, but all this stuff that's come out now about like, Nixon Newell apparently was at an indie show and they had planned this angle where she was going to run in, and then she left before, and like before the angle was supposed to take place. And all the wrestlers are like waiting for the run in to happen, and it never happens. She says that's not true, but like, and then there's also the story of Danielson being upset, and it's the walking out part for me where it's like really, like, and then I see them like retweeting stuff about their booking. It's like, oh, we shouldn't be booked like this, and it's like fans being like, oh, why would you book them like this? And they're retweeting it, and I don't know. I don't find them very credible when I listen to this stuff, and actions speak louder than words sometimes, Lee. And a lot of the actions that they put in, like, there's just too many factors here. Like, there's too many voices coming in saying, no, this is what happened, this is what's going on, and a lot of like contracting stuff from what they're saying that I have a hard time believing them. I think that's why the initial report that came out of them refusing to lose came in, because you could frame it as, the way that they're framing it is like, oh, like, it doesn't benefit anybody if it's a 3-minute match. It's like, well, actually, the whole build of a squash is to have the team that's winning look really good in the end. That's the point of a 3-minute squash. That was their goal. And I just read it as they were upset that they were given the 3 minutes. They wanted it longer so that they could at least showcase themselves a little bit more. And so that way, but they want to have Anna Jay and Ty Mello over as a tag team. So you're not signed. I just find the credibility quite low. I just have a tough time believing.
Yeah. Again, it feels like people that, at least on the outside, feel like they're bigger than what they actually are.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't even know who Nixon Newell was back then because they just know of the character in WWE.
Yep.
They don't know a real name. So to be able to go on, and you look at people that were like never given time in the ring, and times where they would just make it. Okay, I got 30 seconds tonight, so I got to make the best 30 seconds. You hear it all the time. If you went out and did everything you could in those 3 minutes, like, did you think you were going to win the tag team championship tournament? Like, should you have got more than 3 minutes? Yeah, probably. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Go make the most of it. Go show people that you really want to be here, and hope you get another chance that next time it's 4. But they think that they're great, and they think that they're above it and all this stuff. And it's like, the wrestling world will not miss Nixon Newell. They just won't. I won't. Do I think Anna Jay and Tay Mello are awesome? No. But I just don't know if they got 5 minutes and they went out there and they showcased and they lost. Would they be happier? Like, what would have made them happier? Okay, we're going to increase it to 5.5 minutes.
6 minutes. Yeah. I don't know.
Okay, so now everything's good to go? Because we saw on Collision that you guys went another, like, you're talking about like a minute each. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
1 minute each in a tag team. I get that 3 minutes isn't the longest match in the world, but if you wanted it increased to like 5 minutes or 6 minutes, so you get another minute each in the ring, and you're probably getting your ass kicked for most of that anyway. Come on.
Yeah.
Just go be a professional.
Yeah. And it goes back to, they had the tag match the week earlier with Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford, and there's the spot that's come out now of, you know, Bayne did the double suplex to both of them, and you could tell, like, seems like a little odd that the way that she's lifting them up, and now the reports coming out that they were not cooperative with the spot and like trying to sandbag them, especially.
Yeah.
And you see it now. Kudos to Megan Bayne. You could tell she's just lifting through it, just like it was pure power at that point. But still, like, if you got that going in, like, I just look at it all. It's like I see that, and then there's the story on the indies, and then there's, you know, all the talent in AEW that are coming in and talking about it as well. Like, I don't know. I find them very, very not credible.
Right. When you say all of that, I go, okay, well, where's the amazing matches?
Yeah.
On the other side.
That's true.
Right?
Yep.
Because if all of this is going to happen, you better be damn good. And you go, well, they did do this, and they were the best match on the card. Or like, I don't see any of that happening. And that's the issue when people talk like that. What about your man Kazuchika Okada and Tanahashi? Because everyone's in a retirement tour.
Yeah, Tanahashi's in his retirement tour. I like it. I like that as Tanahashi's final match is you know, a longtime rival, probably Tanahashi's greatest rival, in Okada, and the story of New Japan over the last 15 years, and Tanahashi realizing early on that if I am going to be a great and I want to be an all-time great, I need an opponent that is also an all-time great so that we can make money together. And that's what they recognized with Okada early on, is that this is a chance for me, Hiroshi Tanahashi, to have my legacy opponent, and that ended up being Okada. So I like this. I saw some people upset it wasn't Shinsuke Nakamura, but like, I don't know. You look at the relationship between AEW and I'm not saying Tony Khan nixed it. In fact, maybe even Tony Khan might be interested in having Shinsuke Nakamura versus Hiroshi Tanahashi happen, but you look at the relationship dynamics there with New Japan, AEW, and you don't want to like test that. And I don't think WWE would allow it to happen either, unless there was something that they could benefit from. Like, they're not doing it from the goodness of their heart.
No.
So I saw some people upset about that, but you know, for me, the bigger opponent is Okada anyways. I think it is notable. There was some rumors that because of the way that Okada left New Japan, that there was still some heat. He was like, it might be a while before he comes back, but I think in this instance, like, I think he respects Tanahashi and knows about the retirement tour and all that. So I think that's the element that plays here. But did you see that clip of him coming out and the reaction he got? He came back to his old music and got a loud pop, and it's like, this is the guy that I remember. Like, this is my Okada right here. So I know you got your little clips there about pressing the wrong button, and he says all these funny things, but this is the guy that I watched in New Japan become a big star around the globe, not just New Japan. He went to the States and drew money in the States, and he went to the UK and drew money in the UK.
He's going to draw money with Takeshita again.
Yes.
Here, coming up soon.
Yes. Looking forward to that.
Wrong button.
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry! Bitch.
Unbelievable.
The best. It's a great way to end. A great way to end. Zach, this has been fun. Thank you very much. enjoy Blood and Guts. And we do have a couple of events coming up here in Full Gear and Survivor Series they're getting up upon us here. And also there's a big C4 show in a couple of weeks. So
Yep.
You're going to be coming back. You're booked in a couple of weeks as well to come back here.
Yep. I got Remix
man,
coming up
November.
and Acclaim, and yeah, it's all happening. And I should
Hope it
mention
doesn't
too.
snow 15 Hope it doesn't snow 15 centimeters in Belleville like it did here the other day.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Did you have to go out there and shovel and just dig away? and
Three
whatnot?
times I shoveled on Sunday.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
it was a lot of fun.
I will say though, we were talking about wrestling events. Should mention in there, Blood and Guts tomorrow. AEW Blood and Guts is happening on my birthday tomorrow, so that is going to be a big old birthday celebration with some blood and guts on my television.
Hornsey, what are you doing for your birthday? 40's a big one.
It's 40. Jeez. I'm more thinking about getting closer to 30 at this point. Yeah, I haven't thought too far ahead on what I'm gonna do, if I'm being honest. Just like, it's another year.
Sounds like little Texas. Gonna be very lucky to celebrate your birthday with you tomorrow night.
Maybe Val Vetus will be there. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, we all from This Is Wrestling will be wishing you a very happy birthday. What number is it tomorrow?
Gonna be 28 for me tomorrow. 28 years old.
28 years old.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, we do hope you enjoy your day tomorrow. So happy birthday from all of This Is Wrestling. And we'll make sure, I'm sure the immediate group will be texting and having some memes going on.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
with
already
Hornswoggle
prepared.
birthday tomorrow, yeah.
I'm already prepared for tomorrow. I'm sure I'm gonna get some images, some gifs, and everything in between. Like Gord St. Dennis sent over a Hornswoggle cake, like a picture of a Hornswoggle cake one year. So that's what I'm preparing for. It's a lot of that.
Is he a big league guy now though? Does he big league you?
I don't know. I haven't chatted with Gord in a while.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I mean. Like all of a sudden, Mr. Morning Guy in Ottawa, moved on from Kingston.
Yeah,
game host of the Ottawa Red Blacks.
Yep.
Like he's big time now.
It's a big deal in Ottawa.
Yeah, he doesn't talk to us folk anymore.
I know for sure though he still listens to the podcast. I know he's reached out in the past.
Nothing to do with the fact that he now has a young baby and
the
fact that he gets up at 3 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the fact that he's ignored you.
Nothing at all.
No.
Not at all.
All right. Happy birthday tomorrow. And for Zach McGibbon, I'm Lee Versage. We very much appreciate you being with us on This Is Wrestling.